even if someone loves your content, loves your brand, they might hesitate when it comes to crunch time because of fear. Fear of making the wrong decision, fear of wasting money, fear of, even though they have these other points that you look credible and this trust has been building, of being scammed. And your job is to eliminate that fear to the highest degree possible. As a female online business owner with dreams of more income, more impact, and more freedom, you know there's more potential in your business waiting to be unlocked. But figuring out how to shape and transform your biz and get seen, loved, selling, and scaling can feel like, well, a mystery. So how do you cut through the noise, create offers that deeply resonate, sell and scale without you always being on, all while creating a life you love? That is exactly what this show is about. Welcome to Seen, Loved, Selling, Scale. I'm Corinda, your small biz marketing sidekick, digital office strategist, and online biz bestie. With tens of thousands of digital offers sold, tens of thousands of people helped, and millions of dollars in revenue generated in my own business as a small business owner. And through this podcast, I am here to share it all. You'll gain clear, actionable insights, strategies, and shortcuts to master your online marketing, build scalable online offers, and create a business model that works for you as much as it works for your people, so you can grow your income, amplify your impact, and free up more of your time. Let's get started. There is something that is really not spoken about enough when it comes to making sales in your business, to converting browsers into buyers, lookers into lovers, and people who actually feel safe enough to get out their credit card and stop just consuming your free content. And that is trust. And every small business owner truly needs to understand that there is a subconscious and often even conscious driver that drives people to buy, but also holds them back and blocks them from buying if it is not there. And this is this sense of trust that an audience member has with this business. And here is the thing. It is actually really easy to ethically and intentionally build the trust that your business deserves once you know what you actually need to be showing people and doing in order to do this. And in today's episode, that is exactly what we are going to do. We are going to look at how you can start to create this trust factor, how you can build credibility and create loyal buyers who buy faster because they feel safer with your brand. And just to really drive home how important this is and how this is not necessarily spoken about enough directly, in my opinion, these are some actual statistics on trust. And there are so many statistics out there that you can find on this, but this is one that I love over and over again. And this is from Edelman. Now, Edelman is absolutely world leading in understanding trust, and they have trust barometers, and they're always looking into trust in certain parts of our lives. And they have had some amazing reports into trust for businesses. And over the last few years, trust has bounced around, but mostly remained in, get this, the top 5 drivers of buying decisions. So there has been times where trust has been ranked second in what is actually going to be the deciding factor in someone purchasing from you, trailing only at that time, that was 2020, to price and affordability. So someone knew it was in their price range, they were instantly looking to see if they could trust your brand. This was in front of things, performance, customer service, ingredients that might go into your product. All of these types of things that you might think, oh, I really, really, really need to show up and show people my ingredients or my product performance or whatever it might be at that stage. And still to this day, people were looking just as importantly, maybe even sometimes higher, at trust. And we certainly saw this when people were also deciding to try a new brand as well. And as a small business owner trying to build a brand, there is a big chance you are trying to get new customers. You are trying to acquire customers. Retention is just as important and trust matters just as much there, but you are likely trying to acquire customers. And therefore, this is going to be one of the top 5 things that people are considering about your business when they decide whether just to stay a looker or actually turn into a brand lover and invest with you, sign up with you, work with you, buy from you. Whatever they are doing with your business, trust is playing a part in this. So let's dive in this episode into exactly how you should intentionally be building trust with people. And I'm going to go through 5 categories that you can consider in your business to stop people from scrolling, second guessing, and clicking away by increasing the presence of these things, these core elements. So let's dive right in and start with this core element number 1, which is transparency into your business and brand. And in 2025, this is more important than ever in the social media landscape that we live in, where people, products, behind the scenes, daily snapshots, exactly what is going on is available to people at light speed. And when brands are not providing an element of this, there is a lack of trust. So trust really starts with this open connection between businesses, brands, founders, the people in them, and the person on the other side. So some of the things that small business owners can really lean into is showing this behind the scenes content. Now, if you're in the Content Mastery Club, if you have complete content 24/7, we talk about this all the time. I have an entire pillar, for example, on social media that I teach in my 5-pillar strategy, which is called About the Business. And its sole purpose is to demonstrate your points of difference to make you competitive and show about the business and behind the business to build trust. This is literally what it is for. And this goes across any of the other content types that we're creating as well when we're weaving in storytelling or our methodologies or behind the business. But on socials, this is one of the best ways that we can do this, by actually showing behind the scenes, by showing our processes, jumping in stories. This is how I prep for a client meeting, or this is what I do to make my products, or just shipping this out for so-and-so today, or watch me build this website in real time from woe to go and putting something on time lapse. It is really just about showing people behind the scenes. It can be like your decision-making process. This is the reason that I use this tool versus this tool, or this is the reason why we ship this, or this is the reason that I do not use this in my business, or that I do use this shipping company, or whatever it is. And here's the thing, people always also find this content really interesting too. I really love, and you may also recognize this in yourself, just really love that connection to a person on the other side. There's a reason that we ship in these pink bags. And I'm like, what is it? What's the reason? We are innately curious as human beings. And then when that package also arrives and I can see it's in a pink bag because it represents this to the business owner, that also connects with me on this emotional level. But I also have this trust subconsciously. You're a good decision maker. You're transparent with things. I know that you're packaging things right. I know that you're honest about your packaging. I can see your packaging. It looks safe to me. It looks secure. This is an e-commerce example, but it's the exact same. If I'm choosing a service provider, I can see that you look confident on that call that you've recorded. I can see you're smiling at the person on the other side. I want someone that feels open. I can see that you are in office today. Like, I really resonate with people that are in offices. I don't want someone taking my coaching call from the beach or something like that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I don't want someone in an office. Like, you've really got to know your ideal client, but you are my idea of credible. You are my idea of trustworthy. We want to be showing this. One of the other things that we can be doing is actually being honest about mistakes and lessons learned. So for that example where I gave you, where I said, we ship in these pink bags, and it could be that the pink color pink means something to you, and that's like connection building. But also what you could be saying is, we now ship in these bags because we used to ship in these other bags, and actually I realized they weren't as environmentally friendly. And what I did was made a donation to plant 100 trees to make up for that. And now we ship in these bags because they are more friendly. And look, you don't even have to plant the 100 trees. People can just love you when you right your wrongs without necessarily even paying those reparations, right? But saying something, I remember one time I thought it would be fun to take a call from outside It was a nightmare. I was a sweaty mess. My client didn't mind. She still got the most out of the session, but now you'll always find me in this office. And I've got all these photos on the back of my wall to remind me of blah, blah, blah. So these are just little things that you can actually tell about the business that actually build credibility. Again, not only is this engaging, not only is this interesting, but you are actually setting the scene subconsciously and consciously for this trust building. And then also sharing those values. So a little hint that you saw in there was when I said these weren't environmentally friendly enough. Our brand is a big believer in being environmentally friendly. This type of stuff is so important. Or where I said I took the call from outside, you could be sharing in there, to me, it's really important that my clients are the most comfortable they can be. I really try and create a comfortable environment. So I thought maybe being outside would help with that. Boy, was I wrong. I've realized I can keep my clients just as comfy by taking calls from my office. So again, we're like sharing values as we do this. Our brand doesn't always need to be 3 tips to this, or here's a meme about that, or whatever. Like those things are important, but things are just as important to literally take a carousel, take some photos, put a carousel at the end of the month, and behind the scenes at brand name this month. Here's things that we work through. Here's things we did. Here's things that happened. Here's things I'm celebrating. Here's me doing professional development. This stuff builds trust. And you know what? It's so important for small businesses who do not have this massive word of mouth, this massive household name. We even see big businesses doing this now who do have massive word of mouth and do have massive household names already, because we know the power of this. So do not be afraid to have this level of professional openness with the people on the other side, and even almost like personal openness when it's not brand damaging, to say, I am here this weekend doing this. I have had the best week in my business, sending love to you all. And like it's you at the beach or you at a coffee shop. It is okay to do those things. It might be that your IC really love to see you take care of yourself. It shows that you're a beach lover. It shows that you're human. You know, it could be you with the kids and they're like, oh, she's got kids too. I didn't realize that. There's another point of like trust. She's a real human, relatability. Do not be scared to weave these things in. So this is really category 1. The next category for our intentional trust building is one that you probably consider already, but I really want to put emphasis on this. Why should people believe what you are saying to be true? And the way that we can do this is by openness, by you saying, I create great websites, and then you showing yourself creating a website and talking about your processes and values behind websites. People can be like, yeah, she's right. She does create great websites. But it is also this proof and credibility that goes with it. So people don't just trust what you say. They trust what others say about you or your industry and results that you can prove. So how do we apply this? The first one is this social proof, client results, testimonials, case studies, and sharing these often and always. But if you are just starting out and you don't have these things yet, there are other ways that you can demonstrate proof and credibility. It can really be by like sharing data that actually backs up what you're saying from other places. Did you notice at the beginning of this podcast, and I do this all the time, and this wasn't even necessarily intentional, but how I quoted a report, a very, very, very large report, and I said that there are stats around this about trust being in the top 5. That builds trust for me, for the topic that I'm talking about, because it can be proven externally, but also the fact that I know that and can back up what I'm saying can help build trust in me through proof of what I am personally saying from outside sources. So by sharing data, industry trends, expert opinions, by getting on and like stitching somebody else's video or sequencing somebody else's video, and I completely agree with what this expert is saying, here's my further take on it, this can really help you build trust. And then if you can, also talking about any affiliations you have. So if you have certifications, if you are affiliated through professional development with something, if you have been featured in someone's blog, if you've spoken on someone's podcast, you can go through, and obviously with their permission as well, but use their logos, use their brand to help prove your credibility through association. Now, you'll see this quite often on people's websites. Seen on, or worked with, or did this, or trained by. these are really things that can help build trust. And I want to encourage you to put these things on your website as well if you can. So this trust is just not about what you share on social media. It's every touch point of your brand. So really making sure we've got this social proof, this data and industry trends, and any of these valuable associations all across your brand to really have this second pillar of why should people believe you, seen far and wide. The next pillar that I want to talk about when it comes to intentionally building this trust and credibility is connection and community. And the reason for this is it's really important to remember also that trust isn't built in isolation alone. So what I mean by that is you putting things out into the world most certainly builds your trust. But what also builds your trust is when there is two-way trust going back and forth as well. So where can you be having seen two-way conversations? The most important part is actually for a small business responding to comments in your actual feed. So making sure if you have an Instagram, if you have a Facebook, if you have a group that you are out there responding to things. If you're running ads, get on and respond to your actual comments on there. When people see things unresponded, they lose trust for a business, right? Makes sense. But the other thing that we want to be doing is amplifying when we are having conversations with people. I know that this sounds maybe a little bit strange, but I don't want you to do it in a way that breaks anyone's consequence. I want you to do things with ethics involved. If somebody has commented on one of your posts, for example, and asked a question, you have the ability to actually use that comment in a reel, for example. So you could say, I got this great question from so-and-so. Here's my answer. And you could put that in reel form. Now, what that does is obviously it gives you a chance to create content, talk about that wider. But the fact that people actually see this connection and these relationships in your business actually help create more trust. A person talked to her, she's talking back to that person, she's responsive, she's consistent, she's transparent. There is a two-way conversation there. Somebody else is engaging with her, so that's a signal to me that that person might trust her or be looking to trust her. I can lean into this and look to trust her a little bit more as well. You can do the same thing in your Instagram stories, intentionally asking for questions and then answering those. If someone sends you an email asking something, you can literally say, without sharing even the email or anyone's personal details, but you can get up on social media, on stories, in an email and say, I received the best question through email today, or somebody said to me via email, or somebody said to me in my DM. So really indicating that there is these conversations and community going on. The fourth pillar of our trust building is really making sure that buying from you feels safe, secure, and risk-free. Now, I harp on about this a lot, or one part of this a lot, and that is having happiness guarantees or refund policies in your business. And if you have heard the sales page episode in here, or you want to go back and listen to that, one of the things that loses people's sales the most, particularly cold audience sales, is not having visible refund policies or happiness guarantees. Because even if someone loves your content, loves your brand, they might hesitate when it comes to crunch time because of fear. Fear of making the wrong decision, fear of wasting money, fear of, even though they have these other points that you look credible and this trust has been building, of being scammed. And your job is to eliminate that fear to the highest degree possible. And this is by having clear refund policies and clear guarantees in your business. So even if there isn't a refund policy, remembering that refund policies are not always a choice you make. They are a legal obligation, often governed by the governments and bodies in the places that you sell. So you may be required to give a refund guarantee by law or have a refund policy by law. And guess what? If you have it, use it front and center to build trust. But even if you're not legally obligated to have one, you may want to put a refund guarantee in place in your business. And I sell thousands and thousands and thousands of products per year of all all different price points to all different people around the world. And I have a no questions asked money back guarantee. And my refunds are tiny, 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 tiny. There are good people in the world who are stopped from buying your products because of your fear of what the 0.5% of the population will do. And I get it. It is scary, but I want to really remind you that there can be so many more positives in having this out there for the 99.95% of people that are going to do the right thing, buy your product, buy your service, love it, and keep it, even though there is a happiness guarantee there. But they would have bought that because they were able to alleviate their fear seeing that on the page that this was going to be wrong. They were going to waste money. They were going to be scammed. They get the product, they get the offer, they get the service, they love it, they see it's right for them. They don't even think twice about asking for a refund just because that was on offer. They're going to do the right thing, and you're going to help get them right into your business by offering these things. Now, the other thing that you can do is to increase this feeling of safety, security, and alleviating risk, but also having other communication in your business. So I teach this in the Content Mastery Club. I teach all of this in the club, right? But specifically, when I teach people how to build websites in the club, I talk to them about things that they may want to have on there, like if you process card transactions, even just having that this is protected by blah technology. If you use Stripe, for example, you could say that this is protected by Stripe's technologies or whatever it might be. That can actually, for example, decrease cart abandonments in your business by having those types of things there. You can also put things on what is going to happen once you check out. What is going to happen once you order. Again, having people know that you're not just taking their money and then them feeling this, oh my gosh, what just happened? They know that as soon as they check out, they're going to get sent an email with instant access to blah. They know that once they check out, they're going to go on a discovery call with you. After that, you're going to do a proposal, then you're going to do this, then you're going to do that, and then this is going to happen. They may know that you will ship within 24 hours or pack within 24 hours and ship and have this distributed and expect it within 3 to 5 working days. And you've got a happiness guarantee. These are the types of things by actively communicating this, particularly at places like checkout or nearing checkout. So if you have, for example, buttons on a sales page, underneath the buttons on my sales page, I have disclaimers that say 7-day happiness guarantee, instant access, only a one-time purchase when it is a one-time purchase. I'm really reassuring people in those spaces that this is safe, this is secure. I have FAQs on some pages that say what happens after I check out, what do I need to do? They get instant information there. It really is about making sure that we are actively helping people feel safe and secure. And then lucky last, the fifth element for trust building as a small business owner is you. Your embodiment and your consistency. And both of these are really beautiful things that you get to leverage. So all throughout this episode, we've spoken about elements 1 through 4 and the different ways that we can intentionally build trust. But what this also needs is consistency behind it first and foremost. So I'm in no way saying that when you respond to one comment or when you share one thing that you got asked in your DMs and do a story about it, that is enough to build trust. And you know that, right? You are incredible. You're not sitting there thinking that. But what this really is about layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, about all of these things working together and you doing these things consistently in your business. So you don't have a refund policy on one product that changes on the next product, that changes on the next product, and people are like, what's going on here? And sometimes there's going to be things for good reason that you've had to change a policy on. But most of the time, we want these consistent things in place. We want you talking about them consistently, standing behind them consistently, messaging around them consistently. If you're saying that you believe in environmental activism, people want to see that this is coming through continuously. They want to see that you are embodying this, that you aren't saying that you stand for environmental activism, but then you are seen carrying around, like a plastic one-time use water bottle in a video or something like that. And this is why we also, when we build brands, we build them authentically, because if you aren't an environmental activist, then don't pretend to be one, because likely cracks will start to show within your brand. And look, I get it. There are absolutely nuances in life. We're allowed to be living in duality. We're sometimes allowed to even contradict ourselves when our beliefs and opinions change. But what overall we want to be doing is showing people that we show up consistently with these same beliefs, with these same policies, with this same feel, with this same safety, with this same security, that we are also embodying the things that we are talking about. So if we're saying we believe in this, people are seeing it. If we're saying that we made this brand because we love an active lifestyle, people want to see us leading an active lifestyle as often as possible. They want to see us walking that talk. We are really a walking beacon of, I can trust her. What she says, what she does, I can see this through her actions and consistency, not just her words. So I really want you to start looking at all of these things in your beautiful business and how you can be making sure that you are intentionally building trust, transparency, and authenticity. Make sure that you have pillars in your social media strategy, in your content strategy, where you are sharing intentionally your behind the scenes, your methodologies, your mistakes, your lessons, your values, your ethics. You need to be talking about these things for trust, for connection, really making sure that you are showing people why they should believe you. Social proof, data, talking on industry trends, aligning with industry experts or any of those affiliations that you can lean into. Really making sure that you are building connection and community, and people can see that other people are building trust in you, other people are building faith in you. You are reciprocating those things back to them. You can see that you are trustworthy. Intentionally building in that safety and security, making sure people are feeling safe, secure, risk-free, all of those things across any of the touch points in your brand, from content to sales pages to checkout pages to footers on your website to policies that you have, to procedures that you have of onboarding people, all of those types of things. And then really making sure as well that people can see this embodied in you consistently. And you might have employees, you might have a brand voice instead of a personal brand, whatever it is, your brand, your employees, you want to be acting consistently and embodying all the things that you say you believe in, you stand for, you do, you don't do, really making sure that that is shining through. And having these things can go from people looking at your business, thinking, oh, she seems so great, but there's just something stopping me from buying, and I'm more drawn to this other person, to then be them going, you are the one for me. Where do I sign up? I cannot wait to get started, because all of these subconscious and conscious drivers have been met. So over to you. I want you to think about the trust building that you are doing in your business and start to intentionally adding elements from today, because trust truly, as we know from Edelman, is one of the top drivers in a successful business, and you deserve success. You just need to show people why they can trust you so you can get there. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Seen, Love, Selling, Scale podcast. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired, fired up, and empowered to make serious moves that align with your goals and version of success, both in life and business. If you loved what you heard, head over to www.thisisco.com.au to find all the links and resources mentioned in today's episode. And if you aren't already following the show, make sure you hit that follow button so you never miss a future episode when it drops. I'll see you again next week, same time, same place, same goal to get you seen, loved, selling, and scaling. See you then.